Yes, sadly, it is that time of year again, my friends. Yeah, as you saw on the notification that is stapled to the post just outside of our, next to our slip, haul out is starting in really soon, 1 week. Yeah, 1 week. But yeah, today is definitely looking more like fall than it has all year. This summer, this year, 2024, anyways. Oh. Yeah, if you hear the water running, it's because I'm just finishing up winterizing the boat for another year. It's okay, really, it's okay. Yeah, everything is done down here. Engines, both engines, Jenny, air conditioners, but I forgot one thing while I was doing that, and that is shut off the main battery switch to the Jenny. And that's it. Now I can close it up again. Yeah, boy, that rain is really pounding down. Man, oh man, listen to that. Wow. Good timing. Actually, not very good timing because I have to leave the boat, get back to my truck, and it is pounding down. Holy smokes. Of course, this wasn't forecast. It was supposed to be a sunny day today. Oh well. C'est la vie. Yeah, so that's it. I'm just wrapping up winterizing. Yes, sadly, it is that time of the year again. In real time, it is the second week of October 2024. And I was here yesterday. I did winterizing of the engines, the generator, the air conditioning unit, and all that took me a little bit longer than I was hoping for, or at least that what I was anticipating. So I had to come back this morning and just button things up. I had to do the water system. What else did I do? Water system. I dropped the VHF antenna because clearly the boat's going to be coming out of the water in short order. And yeah, a couple other things. Yeah. So anyways, so that's done. Winterized the fridge in the galley yesterday. And when I say winterizing, just shutting it off. Took everything out, shut it off, put a couple of towels in there overnight just so it can defrost and drip away. And this morning it was all nice. So I took those towels out, already back in the truck. So I'm going to take them home. Anchor Girl's going to wash them. And then we will come back on the weekend and defrost the galley fridge. Or sorry, not the galley fridge, but the cockpit fridge, because there's still a couple of Coronas in there. And I emptied out both fridges yesterday, whatever was left, because most of the food has already been taken out. So there's a couple of Coronas and a couple of coolers for Anchor Girl, because we will be back on the weekend just briefly to do what I just mentioned and say hi to the neighbors and just whatever last minute stuff, because there's not too much left to do. And the other big reason that we're not going to stay on the boat anymore for this season is that they did a mobile pump out for the holding tank yesterday, so can't even use the toilet anymore on the boat, but that's okay. So we had already anticipated that. We knew that. We were informed by the marina operators a couple 3 weeks ago that yesterday was going to be the last chance to get a mobile pump out, which it's a brilliant service. Oh man, we love it. We've taken advantage of it probably 4, 5, maybe 6 times this summer. And what they do is you just arrange for it, and they will come by on a given day during the week. And it's on a trailer. It's just a little. They have a little holding tank there, and they will come right to your boat, pump out your poop tank, and drive away. And of course, there's a little bit of a premium as opposed to going to the gas dock to do it. But given the fact that this time of the year, you can't count on the weather, obviously. So to say, well, we'll wait till the last minute, drive the boat over to the gas dock to do a pump out, we would be taking our chances. And beyond that, the engines, like I said, they're already winterized. I wanted to get that out of the way before it start to get too cold, so I'm not going to run the engines just to drive over there and come back and have to re-winterize them. That would be foolish. So long story short, we're pumped out, winterized, so we're not staying on the boat, so we'll just come by for the day. Now, we had not anticipated staying on the boat this coming weekend. Just again in real time here in Ontario, Canada, this coming weekend is Thanksgiving, and I know a lot of my American followers and first time watchers of this video, they're gonna say, Thanksgiving, that's not till November, man. Yes, correct. In the US of A, it's in November. In Ontario, it is first or second weekend of October. This year it falls on the second weekend in October. So whatever. It's just whatever. That's how it is. So this will be our Thanksgiving, which is traditionally the last weekend before boats are hauled out in Ontario. So if you saw when I got here yesterday, I filmed the notification, which is just on the on one of the posts outside of our slip, and they are saying that they're going to start hauling boats the Tuesday after the long weekend. So I think that is October 14th, something like that. I don't recall. So that's when they're going to start lifting the boats. Today, the boys were bringing by the beams that they put under the boats when they lift the boats here in a covered slip. They lift the boats up, slide beams underneath from dock to dock, from finger dock to finger dock, and then drop the boat back down. Take a look in the description, because I'm going to try and leave a link to the video I produced last year this time showing how they raise the boats. And then I have another one from the spring when they lower the boats, put them in the water. So if I get around to it, I will put links to both of those in this. Now, the other updates are, I just checked the engine hours, and we only put a solid 30 hours runtime on the engines this year, which is pretty sad. As you know, we've done, well over 100 hours runtime in a given summer, but this year, that we went through a few things. Crappy weather. We've had lousy weather all year, so we didn't do a lot of traveling. Actually, our neighbors two over, who you may recognize from previously, they were our next door neighbors on the last marina, they only took their boat out once. We took this boat out 5 times all season long, all summer long, all season long. From when we were launched in March to now in October, this boat has left the marina a total of 5 times. That's pretty sad. So with that said, only 30 hours, almost right to the minute, 30 hours runtime on the main engines and 21 hours runtime on the generator. So whatever, it is what it is. At least I'm not behind on my oil changes. Now, I'm not going to share the details of what I did for the winterizing. I've done that already. And again, look on my channel, or I will try to leave a link in the description to my winterizing video last year, and I'll show you, all the nitty gritty of what I did. Same process again this year. So I did not need to film all that because I didn't want to, I didn't have time, and I didn't feel like it. So that information is already on the channel. You can take a look at that for yourselves. Oil change. No, I don't do oil changes at the end of the year. I know a lot of guys say, oh man, you got to do an oil change at the very end of the season before the boat goes away because there's going to be crap in the oil and sitting there all winter long. No, I don't do that. I do my oil changes in the spring, not first thing in the spring, but at the start of the season, I will do my oil changes, and I'm good to go for the rest of the season, generally. And I'm happy with that. I've been doing it that way for 25 years. Before you jump onto your keyboard and start, no, Paul, you got to do an oil change at the end of the season. Don't want to hear it. It ain't going to happen. We've been boating for over 25 years. I've been doing my oil changes since day one, winterizing in the boat since, for over 20 years, from back to our 300. And so, 20 years I've been doing that myself. And everything works out fine. And miraculously, everything is all together in the spring. So, that's my process. Again, that's how I did it. Another thing that I was hoping to do already a couple of weeks ago was wash the outside of the boat. It's not like super decrepit, but it needs a wash big time. And I was going to do it this past weekend because the weather was decent and we were here. But I thought, well, why would I bother? It's just a waste of time now, because once the boat goes up in the air and it sits for the winter, it's going to get dusty and dirty and bird shit in the spring and whatever. So it would be pointless. So I didn't do that. Now, that said, the canvas is really dirty. Inside it's nice and clean, but the outside is dirty. There's bird poop on it, spiders and fluffies from stuff blowing in the wind. And so that's going to be done. But I'm going to do that again in the spring, and I'm going to do a major. I'm going to wash the outside of the boat first thing in the spring. But then after that, I'm going to pick a nice dry day, sunny day. I'll take the entire canvas off the boat completely, take it out on the dock, wash it, scrub it, and then once it's dry, re-waterproof it. So I think a lot of you guys would like to know the process that I use, have been using on all of our boats for the last number of years, and what I do and how it looks so nice and pristine. Okay, the other update, and I think this is it. I actually wrote down a list of things, because otherwise I forget. I checked. I probably showed you this earlier, maybe even last year, the first year we had the boat. But the battery voltage gauge up on the helm for the port engine always is way off. It's pinned to like over 18 volts on there, which is a dangerous situation. But I checked it right when we first bought the boat and determined that it's the gauge, not the alternator. And I did that again a couple weeks ago, just anticipating that the boat's going away, and I just want to do an updated check. And starboard engine is putting out about 14.5 volts at the alternator, and the port side, I hope I said port for the gauge, because that's when that's giving me the hard time. It's not reading correctly, and that was between 14.5 and 15 volts. And I looked that up, and yes, 15 volts is okay. I guess it. So the alternators look good, so I'm going to replace both of those volt gauges on the helm. Yeah, and I'm probably going to also replace the starboard fuel tank gauge, because that has never worked correct since day one. And again, look at my how I did a boat repairs and upgrades videos, and you'll see there's a video of me replacing the fuel cylinder, not once but twice for that one, and that thing's never worked right. So I want to get all those gauges, maybe a couple other things. The only problem is, or I should say the situation is, that where I get those through, it's FP Marine. I've talked to you guys about those guys in the past. A lot of you probably are aware of them, but they are located in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So the stuff that I buy, the shipping and duties and everything to get that stuff up here, is often is equal to, you know, if that $60 US item ends up being $175 Canadian by the time it gets to our door. So I like to sort of put in a little bit of a bigger order, not just that one item, just to make it worth my while. And those things haven't been critical anyways, but it's something I would like to do for next spring. Yeah. What else? Maybe the stereo too, because that's ongoing issues with that stupid JL audio head unit. The funny thing is now, even though I've worked on it and tried to fix things, when it comes on, and usually it just by default the volume comes up fairly loud, let's say at about 25-30% of to max, and this thing's got a really heavy duty amp as well on that stereo system. And so it's like, whoa, turn it down. When I turn it down, the volume gets louder. And if I turn it louder, the volume goes louder. So it's clearly, it has issues. We haven't even used that thing all summer just because of that. And it's not super important anyways. Besides, we haven't been on the boat that much, so blah, blah, blah. So I might pull that head unit out and take it somewhere. There, as I discovered, there's locally is a JL audio authorized seller and service depot, so maybe I'll take it up to them, have them tear it apart and see if it's worth fixing or not. I don't know. Well, I think I knocked everything off on my list that I wanted to talk about, that I remembered that I should talk about. Yeah, that's it. Fall is here. Haul out is happening soon. I don't know where they're going to start in the marina this year. I think they start on this side of the marina. This marina is broken up into actual 3 separate harbors. Last year, when we first came here 1 year ago, we were in the farthest west harbor. This time we are in the most easternmost harbor. So they have a west, a center, and an east, and we are in east. And I think they start lifting the boats at this side of the marina, which is, I don't care. We're winterized. We're not using the boat anymore anyway. So actually, for me, it'd be the quicker it gets out of the water, the better. Because as well, if you remember last year, and I showed you what the boat looked like when it was out of the water, and I had a couple of comments just saying, "Oh man, are you going to clean the bottom of your boat? It's disgusting." Well, we didn't. So I have a pressure washer which I am going to bring up, and I want to go all around, and maybe even clean the sides of the hull a little bit, because I never did that last year either. Just didn't. Sorry. So I hope to do that this year, and of course we'll bring you guys along once the boat's out of the water, show you what it looks like, and maybe go with the pressure washer. Hey, hopefully I don't lose my GoPro. Yeah. So anyways, that's it. I don't think there's too much more to add other than look at that, the rain stopped and beautiful blue skies, and the sun is out, and the trees are really, really changing. Yeah, that time of the year. I'm just gazing across the forest behind the boat here, beyond the parking lot, and it's as much of yellow and red in the trees as there is green. So won't be long, those leaves are going to start flying, and then it's going to really feel like winter. Well, we shouldn't say that. So anyways, folks, that's it. All good. Everything's good. And yeah, we'll see how things go. Again, just because the season is winding down and basically done for us doesn't mean I'm not going to share more boating videos with you guys. I got 3 in the works right now that I'm just trying to edit and get to you as quickly as I can. So hopefully you'll stick around. Keep an eye out for that. And as always, I'll look forward to your comments, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Cheers.